Hello, Telvani here, and after getting quite a few upgrades for my Lightning Strike Raider, I decided it was time to check out one of the new Uber bosses. I figured Maven was a pretty safe bet, since I am very familiar with her mechanics. I actually did a 13-minute Maven fight within the first 48 hours of the league, nearly deathless. Mostly because I wanted my Void Stone and had super budget gear, and partly because I was too prideful to buy a carry. I thought Maven would be a good option to check out, since she drops a lot of valuable Awakened Gems, and the chance to get a 30x Awakened Enlightened Gem sounded very appealing. But you'll have to wait until the end of the video to find out if that one happened. Spoilers, it didn't. So tonight, I went and purchased 10 Maven Writs for around 6x, and started grinding out kills. After completing all 10 kills, I've learned quite a few things about Uber Maven that I thought I'd share with you guys. First off, Uber Maven has 2 to 3 times more HP than regular Maven, so the kills weren't the quickest thing ever. It took me about an hour to run all 10 writs, averaging around 5 minutes per kill, which isn't really too much of a surprise, since regular Maven kills are around 2 to 3 minutes each, so it takes roughly twice as long to kill her, while she has twice as much HP as normal. Next, Uber Maven has some added mechanics. Her Cascade of Pain fires 2 additional projectiles, so it can be quite deadly if you're standing in a sweet spot where you get hit by all 3. This also means that the strategy of kiting her blasts on squishier characters probably isn't going to work out well. Her Take This attack, where she charges up a giant fireball, fires 4 additional fireballs. In the normal Maven fight, most tanky characters with spell suppression can just eat this, but in Uber Maven, you pretty much need to avoid this at all costs, as it will one-shot you. Finally, her Stand Still attack, where she summons 2 sets of beams that rake across the screen, applies the healing debuff, preventing HP regeneration and life leech. This is honestly the most dangerous attack she has, and it is especially toxic when she uses it in Execute. You end up having very limited mobility to avoid it, due to the rotating beams that apply a similar debuff. Most of my deaths during these runs were from getting debuffed by her Rake attack and Execute, and being unable to recover. I actually failed one encounter because of this, but I went out and bought an extra writ so that we would have a nice even 10 kills for this test. Apart from the mechanical changes to her attacks, the Maven now summons enemies during the memory game, similar to when the Giga Brain comes out and starts rotating. Honestly, for my character this was a buff in most cases, as it allowed me to maintain frenzy charges throughout most of the fight, and it kept my mobility high for the memory game as I am using Dark Ray vectors. The final thing I'd like to mention is the strategy I use for dealing with the degen pools the Giga Brain throws out during the fight. In Uber Maven, these degen pools last forever, and don't get removed during the brain explosions. The traditional strategy for a lot of players is to try and pile them all up in the top of the map here. That works pretty well, and can keep them out of the way for most of the fight. However, if Maven teleports up here during the Execute phase, it can be pretty annoying, and it can make the memory game more difficult as well. I think the superior strategy, if you can execute it properly, is to try and drop all of the degen pools right in the center of the map. It might sound counterintuitive, but in Execute and during the memory game, you're never going to be in this area anyway. This is just a bit of personal preference, but if executed perfectly, it is far superior to the top drop strat. Granted, there is less room for error, as if you drop the pool incorrectly, it can mess up your entire arena. Alright, so the moment you've all been waiting for. How much profit did we actually make during this test? If we take a look at our loot tab here, we got a whopping 7 Awakened Gems. I haven't done enough Uber Maven to know if this is normal, but from my past experience with regular Maven, this seems a little on the high end. Of those 7 Awakened Gems, 2 are pretty much useless 10C trash, Ancestral Call and added chaos damage. We got a cast while channeling, minion damage, added cold damage, deadly ailments, and elemental focus awaken supports, and these were all worth anywhere from 100 chaos to 2.5x at the time of the recording. But I expect the price of these to go down as more players are able to start farming Maven. Over here we have a bunch of 1C uniques that I'll be vendoring after this video. And down here we've got a few Legacy of Fury boots. These things are still worth a little bit of chaos at about 30C each, but again I expect them to keep dropping in price like they did last league. Up here you can see we received 3 Orbs of Conflict worth around 50C total. And as we were doing the Uber Maven, we had 10 elevated sextants drop, since they are now guaranteed from the Uber version of the fight. These are worth around 1x in total. This brings our total revenue to around 9.5 Exalted Orbs, and as I paid around 6x for the Maven Writs, This was a total profit of about 3.5x in 1 hour, excluding the cost of the one failed attempt. Ultimately, 10 boss kills isn't a large enough sample size to accurately judge profit per hour. However, I wasn't thrilled with the results, as the Uber Maven requires a lot of focus and skill, and simply running through white maps with good sentinels and stream of consciousness can probably net you more per hour than I made in this test. Anyway, I hope this video helps you decide if you want to try running Uber Maven, and if you do decide to run her, it might save you a bit of headache having seen some of the mechanics. If you like this video and want to see more content from me, consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel, as it does help out immensely. Thank you for watching, good luck with your league, and I'll see you in the next one.